Now, occupancy rate in percentage, total units full, total units no greater than 95%. Okay? Don't be fluffing numbers. Average length of the leases in place, annual, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly. Then right here, sum of all lease time left, total leases. We just want to know the total leases. Current rent per square foot. Sum of all rent, total square feet, or gross rent, total square feet. We're going to talk about net and gross. You'll know what gross is, okay? Now, market rent per square foot. Take the market rent for each type of unit. All right? Times that number for each unit of given type. Add all market rents together and divide that number by total square foot. And this will be on there for you guys. You have the formula. So you take the market rent for each type of unit, times that number for each unit of given type, add all market rents together and divide that number by total square feet. Okay? The number's done. All right? Here we go. And current condition of units. Excellent, good, fair, or poor. And that's just what condition the units are on an average. And then any repairs. I'm going to click this up here. Here it is. Any repairs required. Repairs. We know you cannot give us an exact repair number, but we must get an idea of based on what you see. Okay? Not what you see with your own two eyes, but what you see through all the supportive documentation that they send to you. All right? If they had a contractor that presented a bid, and the bid said that it needed $15,500 in repair because the people that were there were party animals and they put a bunch of holes in the wall because it's next to a college. Well, okay, that's fine. So how much does it cost to repair drywall and patch, sand, paint? What's it going to take? Don't forget things like roofs, driveways, landscaping, HVAC, etc. Give it your best guess and get help if you need it. Get help by asking. That's pre-contract due diligence. All right? If we like the project, you can submit a list of repairs when requested, but not now. See, the whole thing about it, guys, is we don't need all this supportive documentation. That's why I say when you're going to be submitting the sheets in the past, just submit the one sheet, and it comes through the pipeline, and we can look at it quickly. This is the same thing. We don't need a bunch of documentation. And even to this day, I get tons of documentation. Can I see this for 1 second? This in your hand for 1 second? Just 1 second. Look at all the documentation that's here. 1, 2, oh, this is multiple deals. Okay, so she's got 3 on one. This is not too bad. 1, 2, 3 on another, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on another. Okay, so now all these pages, these are multiple deals, but she has 3 pages for one. That's great. We're going to get that done. You want to get that back to Kevin. You can bring that back to him at break. That's 3 pages on one, 3 pages on another, and 4 pages on another. So she's got three potential deals that she feels are solid, ready to move forward. All right. Now, that's fabulous, but what we want to do, instead of getting any additional support documentation, I saw that there was some projections in there. It looked like possibly even a P&L statement, a profit and loss statement. But what we want to do is get this information, but not now. All right. We want to just move forward with this one form, and we can get a good idea from that and confirm during due diligence later. Right now we're just gathering the facts. We're on a fact-finding mission. All right. What is the scope of repairs still needed? Please be reasonably specific at a high level. Specify where you got the information also. So we want to know, explain the repairs. We got repair estimate from broker because contractor went to property. Done. Or broker told us that property only needs $20,000 worth of work because there's a big hole in the roof. What do you think is more real for us to verify? A contractor bid from a contractor that went to the property that said $15,500, or, which by the way, $15,500 for drywall and all that, that's not unreasonable. That's a lot of drywall though. All right, the drywall and paint, that's not unreasonable. Paint's expensive. All right, but hole in roof, $100,000. What is that? Well, what size of the hole in the roof? And I mean, what is that? So you guys get it. We need to verify that. All right. Now, current gross annual income. Add all income from units, storage, vending, laundry, or anything else together, and here you go, 5%, 10% vacancy rate minimum. We always factor in a vacancy rate, all right? Just like the Murphy factor, this is the vacancy rate, 5 to 10%. That's going to be your current gross annual income, okay? All right? Now, current annual expenses, all expenses from property taxes, insurance, maintenance, do not include cost of loan, which is debt service and expense. Do you understand how powerful this is for you? For this information to be here for you? It's in your face 24/7. This is very powerful, all right? This tells you right when you're there on each one. Okay? This one is projected gross annual income based on all units rented and market rents, and this is projected annual expenses. All right? Project your expenses. The realtor or the seller should be able to provide a pro forma financial projection with an estimate of expenses. Guys, don't get hung up on that at all whatsoever. You just simply ask. Remember, guys, brokers and sellers are salespeople. They want to sell you the property. They're going to give you the information. They're going to want to give you the information right away. And a lot of times when you're on sites like LoopNet, as you know, the P&L statement is right there. The documentation's loaded at the bottom. We're going to see that when I go to the finding session. Quite often, there's going to be a marketing package that's already put together, and all the information is right there for you. But do not take that and forward it to us. That's not what we want. All we ask is that you do a little work on the project too. It's very simple. Or better yet, get your bird dog just to bullet point that information, and you skim right to it, and the number's right there. You plug the number in, and you're done. It takes a whole lot of under a minute to do it. It's so easy. All right? Assuming the building is fully occupied, that's what it comes out to. Projects for your expenses. The realtor or seller should be able to provide you a pro forma financial projection, what it's going to be worth later, with an estimate of expenses, assuming the building is fully occupied, adjust for full building and adjusted tax, insurance, salaries, property management fees, etc. And those numbers should already be in there for you. And if they're not, you just go ahead and stick it in. All right. So income level of area. Is it a low income, medium income, or high income area? Some of the things that I ask for when I'm looking, I'll say how far away is a Walmart or a Super Walmart. I ask, do you have any of those new type of grocery stores that are coming in, like the Whole Foods or the Gelsons or anything like that? Because then what I'm doing is I'm just gauging the area, you know. What type of stores do you guys have around? How far away is the Neiman Marcus? Do you guys have J.C. Penney's? What's in the area? What's going on? You know what I mean? Is there any new construction? What's happening? The broker, believe me, they're going to tell you all the information that you're going to want to know and more. Utilities, owner pays, and you can just click it. It's just a mouse click. Gas, electric, water, whatever it is, you go ahead and click it. All right? Mouse click. List separate meters. So in other words, if it's going to be, if it's just the gas, you just put in the gas. Simple as that. Just stick in gas. You just go ahead and list what it is. All right? Is there additional land available? Indicate the acres. Use 0 for none. We want you to stick it in there if there isn't any. And the reason why I want you to stick 0 in there is because I want you to go ahead and ask. It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Now, if you're calling on a building that you can buy for really cheap in a place like San Francisco, you're probably not going to want to ask how much land comes with the property because they have a huge parking shortage. But still just ask. By chance, does this come with any additional land? Is there even a sliver in case we needed to add parking or do anything? Is there any land at all? Just the land underneath it, more than likely, all right? But you want to ask because, again, in places like Texas and other areas across the nation, sometimes, 10, 20, 30, 50, even 100 acres is common, okay? Distant to nearest Walmart and distant to nearest Home Depot. Walmart and Home Depot, guys, they bring in the path of progress. It's not always Walmart, though. You write this down somewhere on your page, wherever you're going to be taking notes on this section. But just write down here that it's not just Walmart that comes in. Walmart has a projection. Their future projection, right, for development can be anywhere between 5, 7, 10, 15, even 20 years. Even 20 years. By the way, Walmart is in the business of buying land, all right? Not quite like McDonald's, but they are in the business of buying land. McDonald's doesn't really sell hamburgers as much as you think they do. They're in the real estate business, and that's why they're on all the prime corners and they own all the land. All right? Ronald's very, very smart. Okay. Now, distance to nearest Lowe's, that's important. You can see these are the 3 major builders. These guys have lumber. These guys have home improvements, okay? You guys getting it? Good. Is the property within city limits? All right. If it's not, then we obviously know that it's in the sticks. So why should we be interested in this property? Now, just because a property is in the sticks doesn't mean that we're not interested in it, guys. Property that doesn't have utilities to site is property that's less desirable. But I'll tell you what, if there was 1,000 acres that was way out in the sticks and there wasn't utilities to site, but the broker knew that this huge development, the master plan community, was coming in the next several years, and their plan was to bring utilities a couple miles, all utilities, running them. It'd be important to know that information so that way you could go ahead and see to tie up some land adjacent to it, because all you need is the property, the utilities to butt up against the property that you seek. So this is important, and that's the reason why we asked, what is the current interest rate? Okay. Oh, excuse me. We're back up here. What is the population of the city where the property is located in? Now, I get a question all the time. They say, well, what's too remote? What population? Is 3,000 too little? Is 30,000 too little? 300,000 too little? Guys, the deal's just got to make sense. We don't want to go into an area that there's only 3,000 people, obviously, but we want to be able to go into an area where there's a lot of growth and there's a need. There's a need. I'll tell you something really quick about a property. This property was actually outside of Fort Worth, and I was working on it for a little while, and it was a huge golf course community, and this property was pristine. These homes on the property were going for $600,000, $700,000. These are estates. And I got together with the owner, went there, spent a lot of time playing golf, hanging out, and liked the project. They were interested in selling, giving us favorable terms to do a joint venture with them. I had a bunch of people on board. We were going to turn it into a very exclusive gated community. And we were going to be bringing in tons of professional athletes and professional people. And I was in touch with the Williams family, if you guys know who that is, Serena and Venus Williams. I was in touch with their family, their brother. And we had tons of connections of people, flying them out in helicopters, all kinds of stuff. We were really involved in this project. This was quite some time ago. And we decided that the project, even though it had utilities to site and it was sitting on something called an aquifer, and that means water. Water is it's a very good thing. We're going to talk about minerals later in the course when we get to that after finding. But this particular property, in between Fort Worth and where this property was located, I mean, you could fall asleep and not see anybody. I mean, this thing was just like way out, and it took a while to get there. So what I want to go ahead and bring to your attention here is that the population of this particular city was really low, although the development opportunities there, we want to do deals with two things, guys, speed and ease. So don't focus on the project. In the motivated sellers, we had everything. All the key aspect was there. I shared the story with you because I want you to understand that we want to be able to get into areas that are hot areas where we can make it happen, okay? All right. What percentage was the city's growth rate over the last 2 years? We want to know what the growth rate is. That's very important, okay? How many people have moved in? Is the growth pattern going up? Did it go from 3,000 to 15? Did it go from 30 to 90? Or has it been 30 and it went from 30,200 to 31,500 in 2 years? All right. What is the distance to the nearest city with population greater than 50,000? So you can see right there, my indicator, I'm saying 50,000 or more. All right. Seller financing available. It's all mouse click. Yes, no. All cash required. Yes, no. Is the property owned free and clear? If debt is carried and financing in place, really bear down on the mortgage info. Is the mortgage assumable? Yes or no? What is the current interest rate? What is the current terms? Guys, once you find out what's owed, then all you ask is, Mr. Seller, is that loan possibly assumable? And if they say, what does that mean? Say, can we assume the loan? And then they'll either say yes or no. If they say yes, say, okay, well, let me ask you. At what interest rate is the existing loan? And when does it due? What are the terms? Once they start talking, guys, they start talking. It's like you put a pin inside of a balloon. It's not going to stop. It's going to go, it just does what it does. It just does what it does. It gives it all. And that's exactly what we want. Okay? What are the current terms? Balloon, that means does it come due? In foreclosure. Now, I don't mind asking somebody if they're in financial despair, guys. I got over that a long time ago when I was playing around with thousands of dollars in residential. I asked them straight out. I say, look, this deal's obviously just way too skinny for us, man. I mean, look, we were coming in thinking $1.5 million, and you're saying 2, and you owe like 1.9. Would you sell for what you owe? Just ask them. Would you sell for what you owe? I said, because I'll tell you what, even if I were to take it over, just take the thing off your hands, I don't even know if I want it. Now how do you think they feel? They're like, geez, you really don't want my headache, do you? No, I don't, right? Then I just ask them, I say, look, are the payments current? Are your payments current? They'll tell you. If they have a loan, that's a question I want to know. Are your payments current? I was dealing with a guy that was very savvy. And guys, everyday people own commercial. They look just like all you guys here. All right? They do. They look just like me. They look just like this guy. Where are you going? Okay. One of the things that you guys got to understand is because everyday people own commercial property, you're going to run into all sorts of people from all different walks of life. From the nicest, kindest people to the bitter, sweet people, and you're going to run into them all. And the thing about it is, all the questions apply to each and every one of them. It is totally irrelevant. Thank you. So, because of that, we want to know if it's in foreclosure, and if so, is bankruptcy filed. Now, I was getting to a quick story. I was just mentioning that I was dealing with a real savvy individual. Wouldn't think in a million years this guy's payments were going to be late. And I asked him, I said, are your payments current? He said, no. I said, really? He said, yeah. He goes, this thing's such a problem, I just got sick of wasting money and just putting money into the deal. And I took it down in an entity, and my partner left, and he doesn't want to deal with it, so I'm just kind of waiting for someone to come along and buy it. I said, okay. Well, are the taxes current? No, I haven't paid taxes in about 3 years either. Oh, really? Okay. Well, what's the total debt owed to bring the thing up to where it needs to be right now? And then he told me. And then those kind of people that end up just giving all the information, those are motivated people. You guys, the only way you're going to get motivated people is to get out there and see if they're motivated and just ask. It's just all about, this whole business is about flapping your lips, making it happen. It's all about relationships. Just like, remember the financier up here? He says, guys, it's all about relationships. I just create a relationship with this person and that person, and now I have money here and money there. So that's what it comes down to, all right? Now, you got a little area here. What is your proposed exit strategy for this property? Now, I really want to hear your opinion, and you don't have to write a book. I mean, it could be as little as, don't put something in there like get in, get out, get rich, because I already know that, okay? You guys aren't going to tell me anything I don't already know in that regard. But just tell me what the exit strategy is. Broker says fill it up in 6 to 9 months. We need to verify it. I'd like to go ahead and get it cash flowing, $50,000 a month, and keep it. It's a good exit strategy. Or, this land deal, the seller knows the value, told me it was worth $10 million. He wants to sell it now so he can move to the Bahamas. We can buy it for $2 million. City's pro-growth to get the plans approved. Then we can go ahead and sell it and make a boatload of money. That's a good exit strategy. You guys like both those exits? Okay, good. Because that's exactly what we're doing. So you just put the information in there, and then you go to the next step. And now you're also going to have name of form. You can go ahead and do that as well. Now, if you try to click to the next step, and you don't put information in, I got a blocker on you. It's going to tell you, please fill in your first name and inbox. Now watch. You go in there. Some of you are like, Terry, that's tricky. All right, hang on a second. Look, you put your first name in there, right? Your first name. Terry, right? Then you go and you try to click. It's going to tell you, please fill in your last name. And it's going to keep doing it and keep going through until you put all the information in. Not all the information I'm requesting. You guys will get it. Because this pop thing's only going to pop up a few times on you. You're going to go, dang it, I forgot to put my last name. I need to know who you are. I need to know who we're dealing with. I need to know what we're buying. I need to know why we're buying it. I need to know what's owed. I need to know all the information we've been talking about over the last couple of days so far. All right? I need to know it, and you need to know it. So if you don't know it, get the information, put it through the pipeline. Once you go ahead and click go to the next step, two other bubbles are going to pop up. I'm not going to fill this information out right now because of time. You guys can walk through it. Two bubbles will pop up. One will say go ahead and submit it. What you do is you click submit, and it goes out into internet space, and then it lands right on my website. And it gets submitted right to my team. And then we go ahead and move forward or don't. And that's the way it's done. All right? That's the process. That's how the process works. So I've went ahead and simplified this thing for everybody so you guys get a handle on exactly what we're doing here. And I know that you guys appreciate it, right? Yeah. All right.